You can start your whole online business with just your laptop alone. Now, I'm not going to tell you to start a shitty dropshipping store or build a whole app or just do affiliate marketing, but I'm going to show you 5 simple online businesses that even beginners can do and actually succeed with. And one of these has actually made me money, so I can personally vouch for it too. These are some lesser known online businesses. People are starting from all over the world just on their laptops. They require hard work and real effort, but they're straightforward and clean. And also a quick disclaimer, this video is sponsored by Go High Level, which is basically an all-in-one platform that lets you run your entire business with the funnels, the leads, the automations, all in one place. And so I'll show you throughout this video how you can actually use Go High Level to run a lot of these businesses if you want to as a bonus. So first up is a growth operator. Sounds complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. A growth operator is one of those kind of boring businesses, but pretty stable, where you basically help other businesses grow bigger. Shocking, right? Growth operator. But here's the cool thing. You don't need to take on any risk or come up with something unique, because all a growth operator basically does is to find businesses that already work, that already exist. You partner with them and you help them grow and scale. Then the growth operator takes its slice of the pie. So just think about it, right? If a cookie factory is selling 10 cookies per month and you can help them scale to 20 cookies per month, you could definitely take 1 or 2 cookies for yourself. No company's gonna say no to that offer because you're giving them 8 more cookies. Now, this business model also reduces stress because I find that people get really frustrated in online business because it often takes months to start a really good business, and it's not something that happens quickly or all at once. You have to try, fail, and repeat until it works, and that could take a considerable amount of time, depending on the business model. Of course, some are better than others. And when you start, you need to pay rent, and you need to pay food and everything else. So a growth operator basically starts immediately jumping into a business using marketing, sales, and strategy to help that business grow. You'll be on social media building funnels to bring clients and much more. And that's kind of where Go High Level comes in as well, because you're not just offering ideas, you're bringing a full system into a business using their suite. Most businesses don't actually have a lead problem, they kind of have a systems problem. Leads come into the business, nobody really follows up with them, messages get lost, and opportunities disappear. And so when you're using a tool like Go High Level, you can basically fix that and just make everything more efficient. They actually squeeze out more income from every single lead. You're helping them capture leads better, respond faster, automatically follow up, which directly increases how many customers they can close and essentially get. And because everything is in one place, it's going to be way more reliable when nothing slips through the cracks. And that's what makes you valuable. You're not just, helping a company grow, you're actually making them more money from what they already have. And the best part is, once it's set up, it kind of keeps working. So you can handle more clients, scale your work, and not get overwhelmed. I've been watching a guy for a long time called Ryan Clogg, who did this exact thing for a giant online fitness brand called Warrior Babe. He met the owner and joined to help grow the business, and the company grew massively, and he actually became a co-owner of the company along the way. Now, he's extremely talented as a growth operator, don't get me wrong, but he didn't have to start his own business. He didn't have to come up with the idea. He could basically put his skills to work right away for an existing business. So 8 out of 10 for growth operating. Next up is Amazon KDP. Now, I'm all about simple business models, and this is kind of as simple as it gets. Amazon lets anybody publish books through something called Kindle Direct Publishing, where people go on Amazon to shop, right? Millions of people every single day. And Amazon lets anybody sell on their site. And they handle fulfillment, they handle everything for you, and it's pretty simple. Now, what you sell here is going to be books or digital products, but it can also be planners, journals, all sorts of books. Now, there are great softwares and AI to help you with creation, so you don't need to write a whole novel or do, something like that. You can also do these kind of like low content books, and then you publish these on Amazon KDP. And now every time somebody buys it on Amazon, whether it's in digital or physical print, Amazon is of course going to take a pretty big cut for their work, and you keep the rest. But the great thing about this business is, yes, they take some money from you, they do, but they print it for you, they sell it for you, they handle everything for you. So I think it's pretty fair that they get paid too. Now, if you're using something like High Level, you can also capture emails and actually build an audience and a list around your books. So instead of relying on Amazon alone, which I think is pretty risky, you can actually build, a long-term asset and get repeat buyers and build your own business on the side. Now, the downside of KDP is you're gonna have to try a lot of books, and most people never get that big win. In the beginning, there's also a very steep learning curve too, so I rate this opportunity like a 6 out of 10. A little bit biased, but yeah. Next up is going to be AI automations. Now, a lot of business models like dropshipping or Amazon FBA have become extremely saturated. It's hard to get anywhere these days because everybody's doing it, right? But AI is still relatively new. Now, most people haven't had the time to learn these skills, and those who have run AI businesses that quickly surpass the competition. It's like being a web designer in 2007, right? AI automation doesn't require any investment, it doesn't require employees, it doesn't require risk or waiting months. It literally just takes you, your brain, and a laptop. Because companies are drowning in tasks, repetitive stuff, and just annoying things. And you then come and you say, hey, I can fix it with AI. We can make it more efficient, take away the boring stuff with AI automations. And they say, sure, let's give it a try. And that's when you create things like chatbots, workflows, AI agents, whatever the company needs. Now, when you start running a business like this, there's going to be a lot of moving pieces. You got to find clients, you got to, contact them, have that whole system. And that's also where Go High Level can come into play, because you can essentially automate the responses. You can contact them automatically, make sure people reply, make sure you're actually building a business around it, which is huge because, again, faster responses means more closed deals. So you're not just building the automations, you're actually helping businesses convert more leads into revenue. And if you have a tech background, that's definitely going to help in AI automation, but you can also build these things using no-code solutions that don't require tech skills. You don't need a formal education for this. There's no, AI automations program at the university, so self-taught learners have a huge advantage here for now. But still, when there are so many things you can do, why would you consider AI automations? Well, there's no inventory or physical stuff, there's no ad spend or managing advertising like dropshipping stores. You can keep clients for a long term rather than short term, and expenses are pretty low. It's all digital, leading to higher profit margins for you. It's also relatively low risk, as you don't need to buy any equipment or, send stuff from China or ship things. And companies actually see results with your automations quickly, showing how valuable it is and why you're worth retaining or essentially keeping as a, service provider. And finally, it is scalable. You can build automations, charge a monthly fee for keeping them running and updated, and then move on to the next project. 9 out of 10. Next up is data analytics consulting. Now, this is going to be boring, pretty boring, but if you compare it to SMMA or dropshipping and all these things, but that also makes it stand out. Data is known to be the new gold. Every company needs it to make better decisions and grow, and somebody is responsible for analyzing and collecting and, essentially understanding all that data, and that is a data analyst. Now, this is going to be a regular job as well on the job market, but it's also a highly paid consulting opportunity. You see, lots of companies don't want to hire a full-time employee, and they prefer to, just have somebody do it freelance. Small and mid-sized companies may not even be able to afford it, and other companies might just need a little bit of help here and there, and that's where you come in. Tools and data become stupidly beginner-friendly, and you don't need to be a mathematician or some tech genius to do it. It's simply about finding valuable insights in your data. You can operate this business pretty much just with your data analytics skills and something like Go High Level, where you can run everything, run all the clients, manage everything in there. But how does this compare to other business models, right? The good thing here is you don't really rely on trends or luck. I mean, it's real work. It's solving a fundamental problem every business has. It's not relying on hype or something. It's also pretty quiet and under the radar, but the field itself is high paying and data professionals are in high demand. Now, Lucas, how do I start? What do I even sell? So I would say in your consulting, you can build dashboards, generate reports, clean, prepare, analyze data, and so many more things. And you can also specialize in one thing, that's what I recommend, and just do that when you start. And as a beginner, I do recommend Google, IBM, or Microsoft's data analytics certificates on Coursera as kind of a good introduction to the field. And build a portfolio before you start contacting clients. That's going to be the best way to essentially get clients where you can show some work. The next business is going to be a school community. Now, a lot of businesses are very stressful. You got to be bringing new clients every month. You have to keep working endlessly, and it doesn't scale. Now, a school community is going to be different, and everybody's talking about it right now. So on Skool, you can set up a community and either open it for free or charge members a monthly fee. This monthly fee is how people make money on Skool. For example, there's a guy running a pickleball community with over 1,000 members, and he charges $39 per member per month. People join his membership because he helps them achieve a clear objective to improve their pickleball skills, which I don't really know much about that sport. They learn from him, talk to him, and become part of a big community of like-minded people in that sport. Skool handles everything. He just uploads content, chats with his community members, and so on. And the reason why this model is so strong is because people don't pay for information, right? They pay for guidance, clarity, curation, and community, which is exactly what you can offer on this platform. Now, once you have a community of loyal fans, you can essentially go further as well, and that's when something like Go High Level can be useful to essentially build a stronger and a more reliable business. Also selling high ticket and other things, we can onboard them, keep them engaged automatically, just build a whole system around that and to make it more profitable. Now, you also don't need a huge audience or a community because people with small communities usually do pretty well too, especially at a higher price point. The number one thing is going to be to niche down and focus on a very specific thing like pickleball, although that's perhaps too late for pickleball. I'm not going to pretend everything's perfect though. You do need to really show up and be there for the members or they're going to leave. And for a big community, that's definitely a full-time job. Still relatively low stress, high margins, and I love recurring revenue. But remember that there's still a work every day for a community to remain reoccurring. You're not just getting a member in to pay for lifetime access and then they're going to stay there. 8 out of 10.